Understanding modern rugby. The game of rugby has changed dramatically in the last 5 or 6 years, and we're going to be exploring that.
So what we want to do, the goal of these 3 videos for us is we want to show you what teams are trying to do at the moment, and we more importantly want to show you why they're trying to do it.
So the big problem here in rugby is that defence has developed faster than attack, and this is why this is coming around. Eddie Jones touched on that, and in our interview with Scott Robertson, we asked him, what is the main change between the World Cups? What's changed between the 2015 and 2019 Rugby World Cups? And his answer was defence. That was it. Like, it's defence. That's changed massively, so we need to work out how to manipulate that defence. And, they struggled against the Lions when they came up. There was a different type of defence, so it was interesting.
And that Lions series was fascinating to see the different coaches of the different super franchises try to crack that Lions defence. And the All Blacks came out and test one with a mastermind tight play.
Yeah.
But so the solution is we've moved from pattern play into phase play, and these 1-3-3-1, 2-4-2 systems that you're starting to hear about. All of these guys rolled are predefined. They would have worked it out in training. So on the first ruck, off a line out, the number 2 takes it up, number 8 and number 20 clear it. As soon as number 20 is on the field.
Yeah.
The second ruck, number 13 takes it up, Bastro. The next one, number 12 would have taken it up, etc. So ruck 1, ruck 2, ruck 3.
And this is not random. This is not random. And you see it with Joe Schmidt's Ireland. Yeah. Everyone says, oh, look, Joe Schmidt's got his power plays. All the teams have it. This is essentially a power play off the,
Exactly, Steve. It's predefined from the training ground. Joe Schmidt power plays is a really good example of it. England scores so many tries off lineouts.
Anthony Watson try and the brilliant try, beautiful with all the players moving around the back, and they had specific roles to hold players. And
so that's phase play. It works off first phase. Throughout the 90s, early 2000s, this was working in open play, but defences have got so good that this kind of play doesn't work anymore. So what they're doing now is they're introducing a shape, those little shapes that we saw earlier on, and this is turning pattern play into phase play.
Yeah. And you can see the shapes here.
Yeah.
This shape has already been defined. They've manipulated the defence. Look how constricted this is here. Some guys having to shoot out of the line. There's one person out here, but it's they've already got the overlap, but they've also got the shape out here to make
they've
many
made
decisions.
Their shape, and if you watch this, actually, it's on the 59th pin. Let's go in and watch it in the match. You can see these guys, once they're finished their duty in the ruck, they're actually walking out into fill up this shape.
Yep.
So the difference between these shapes, or phase play and pattern play, is from here on in, we're in real-time decision. The coach has his hands off.
Yeah.
So these guys are trying to give options to the guy with the ball, and we can see straight away here there's an option here, 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 and here. And the more options you get in phase play, the more confusing it is for the defence. So phase play, or it's called unpredictable attack as well, is an open play. It's not off kickoffs. You have to go into the second phase after a ruck. You're into it. So it's a structure where you have little groups of players called shapes. So you get 3 players together, that's a triangle. 4 players together, it's a diamond or a square. And it's based on the defence they see in front of them. So basically, the rule book is ripped open from here. So we've got these 3 All Blacks with a guy behind them. So this is a little diamond, and there's another little diamond here. These guys are only concerned with this defence they have right in front of them here. They're not worried about what's going on out wide. If they can manipulate these guys or tie them up, keep them busy, they've done their job.
If they tie them up and keep them busy, then it's the key is that it's going to hopefully open up space out wide or somewhere else.
Yeah.
So they want to suck.
And they'll be told by somebody who has better vision out wide that they want the ball. They're not making the decision to pass that ball out wide. So here we get some of the common shapes that we get now. So if we have a normal back line, like a scrum half, number 10, 12, 13, 14, this is normal back line setup, and we pop the forwards into them. The forwards are defining the names of these shapes. So here we have a 1-3-3-1. So if we just step here.
Yeah, so we're going to see the one forward here, 3 forwards, and 1 forward, and this is becoming the 1-3-3-1 and the 2-4-2, which we'll just touch on in a moment. They're becoming buzzwords, but what they actually mean is up for debate at the moment because it's so new, or relatively new to
We'll
them.
go into our opinion in the defence video. The next one coming up is going to be quite detailed on how the defence is set up, and which leads to these new structures. And then we'll have an attack video. We'll do the 2-4-2 in detail in 2 videos time. Here's the 2-4-2, where you get 2 guys out wide, another 2 guys forwards, and 4 in the middle. And the whole idea about this is to stretch the defence out wide. We saw in that Italian-French clip there was a lot of Italians defending. I think we'll go back to it. Yeah, this is perfect. So we have a lot of the defence is getting compressed here. So we have very few attackers with a lot of defenders, because these guys are trying to cover all the decisions that these guys could possibly make.
And I think it's important to note that this defence has come on in leaps and bounds since rugby went professional, and the rugby league players have jumped over the boundaries. They've brought their skill set and their ability to read that defence. And in our Keith Wood interview, he actually touched on that in the 97 Lions, where they changed the Irish defence model, changed after that to entrusting people. These guys are trusting each other, but so the plan is to constrict them.
Yeah.
That's all you can do now.
Yeah. And Eddie Jones had said that we've learned so much from defence from rugby league. We're only touching the tip of the iceberg in attack.
Yeah.
So these shapes have been in rugby league for a long time. So we get this, like, they're so lovely. So this is just it's what is it? It's a diamond. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 players together as a diamond. There's another 2 guys out wide here. They've a line up here. They've a line out the back. So the options, as we said before, he could pass to him, to him, to him, or he could go out the back, or he could choose to kick himself. And all of those decisions are going through these players' minds. The later you make your decision, if we go through here, so the ball is going to one of these tall boys in the middle, like an Etzebeth, or Ritalik, Alwyn Jones, etc. The closer you make the decision to this line, the better the decision is going to be.
Which is why Alwyn Jones and Brodie Retallick have gone on in leaps and bounds, because they're taking it right to the person.
Yeah.
And they're making that decision at the last moment. Those are the little bits that you'll see. Some of the other locks at international level, they're trying to get to that level.
And even when you drop down a level to club level, Steve, as well, don't you? You see guys making those pirouette passes well away from the opposition, so the defence can just kind of drift out wide.
Yeah.
So the French do a very good job here of, holding the defence here, and then they go out wide. The key thing about these new shapes is all options are on. There's no decoy runners. So we have John Ryan here. He's ready to take that ball, and he runs a line, giving himself an option from Conor Murray. So Conor Murray has an option to kick it himself, pass it to Ryan, or pass it to Johnny Sexton. So those boys that take that hard line, not faking to catch the ball. If they get the ball into their midst, they take it, and if they don't take it,
if they don't take it, the defence has said they think they're taking it. You have to run with that aggression, with that determination, thinking you're going to get the ball. If you don't, the opposition can read that it's a fake move, and that's a level between the top tier teams, the very, very top teams, and the ones just below it. And those are the little bits that they have to work on. And
if they don't take it, they're also occupying these guys, aren't they, Steve? They're
exactly.
It's not illegal, but it's getting a little bit kind of sinister, Steve, isn't it? So here we go. Sorry, if I go back a frame, after that first little shape that we saw on the 2 options that Conor Murray had, now he's got another 2 options, another little triangle formed, and eventually Peter O'Mahony took a ball here, taking a couple of guys out, and now for the third pass goes into it, which was a loop around Sexton. Sexton himself has 2 options on each pass. So the more options that you have in attack, the more brain work is going on in defence. And if you get guys thinking in defence, they kind of sit on their heels a little bit more, and hopefully space opens up. So here we go. I want to go old school on this, back into when I was playing rugby, and just talk to particularly guys if are new to the game, or the way calls used to be made. So the backs would have calls, and the forwards, the back row would have a few calls, and sometimes they'd tell each other what they were up to. The backs might have a miss one, and they'd have a name for it. So number 10 passes it to 13 instead. The number 10 would be usually calling these shots, and miss 2, there'd be a call like Stephen ball if the full back is coming in there here, or if he's coming in here. The back row might have a call like at 8 passing it to 9 coming around the side of the scrum. And I played number 8, say in schools, we would have a call if we were doing an 8-9 around this side of the scrum. We'd want our tight head to be up in the scrum, so we'd want our scrum to be moved like that. So we'd have a call to move the scrum up this way, sometimes a call to move it up the other way, and for a push you'd have another call. And we even had a call, a dummy call, that was nothing was going to happen, which so just to say something, so rather than call out something and have the opposition alert to it. So basically, all those calls were going on. Here's a little code that I would have gotten. So if we're broken it up into 5 sections. Say if I was a number 7 on the side of the scrum, and I didn't need to know exactly the name of the move, but I wanted to know who's going to get that ball, where should I run. We used to have a set up whereby we'd call out the first number of 1, 2, 3 or 4, and the second number of the jersey. So for example, if the ball was going from number 15 into zone 4, I would get a call in from the back, and then the call would be 45 Do you guess what I mean? So zone 4, number on the jersey 5, and it would be, if it was going to be a kick, I would be told K 4 5 or whatever. So if a number 12 was going to take it in to zone 1, it would be 1 12 would be the zone. Anyway, those kind of things would be going on. Now we're gone so advanced. The game has just gone on so far in the last number of years, Steve, and the big one, defence, the reason for all of these new changes. And again, guys, there's no rules on any of these. There's no god of rugby saying that this is how you do an attack play from here. If you're out of the game for the last 4 years, you're not going to know this stuff. And I would suggest that there's even guys in the academies are going through these structures and they don't know why they're doing them. They're just doing them.
Well, we know there's a different language down here in New Zealand for a lot of stuff. We know coaches are coming down here and having to learn a whole new vocabulary.
We heard recently Ronan O'Gara saying that he's had to learn a whole bunch of new terminology.
Just for a ruck.
And plays, that he wasn't using in the Northern Hemisphere. So it's an exciting time for rugby. All of this is new.